What's all right, here we go. Welcome to Friends Living Well.
Yay,
Another episode. We got a guest here today, which we're super excited about. So we're going to start with introductions. I'm Kelsey Hunter. I'm a BCBA. Nikita, who are you? What
now
are
that
you?
You've already said my name. I have to say Fajita Trombone. That's
She's
who I am.
Fajita Trombone.
A licensed therapist and one of the founding owners of Full Living Wellness, which is bringing to you this podcast today.
Yeah, so this is a production of Full Living Wellness, so this is not therapy and it's not diagnosis, and so we can't do any of that stuff for you directly through a podcast, but we can do it through other means. So hit us up on fulllivingwellness.com for free inquiry in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Florida.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful guest with us today. We have Laura Kent. Nikita wrote an incredibly long introduction for Laura. I'm gonna make it a little more succinct. Laura's just a really fucking cool person. But I'm gonna tell you all the reasons why she's really cool. Okay, Laura's a 10th Planet brown belt under finishers MMA training at both 10th Planet Bethlehem and 10th Planet Allentown. She's been training since 2015, which is amazing. And one of her, I would say, probably biggest accomplishments is the fact that she started a women's only class out at 10th Planet is it Allentown? Yeah, in Allentown. And she also, she runs what is the name of the
East Coast Women's No-Gi Camp.
Yes, Laura runs the East Coast Women's No-Gi Camp every year in the fall, and it's such an amazing event. It's like a weekend where she gets really like highly accomplished competitors.
You will learn a lot. Yes.
So that's one of her amazing accomplishments. She's done a lot of competing. She was a bronze medalist in IBJJF No-Gi Worlds. She's been doing a lot of stuff, but
she's breaking people left and right.
She's breaking limbs. She's snapping necks, but she's also the owner of Optimal Recovery in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where she specializes in athlete-focused sports massage, cupping, deep tissue, gua sha, all of that good recovery stuff. So check her out at optimalrecoveryllc.com. Yeah.
That's a lot.
You do a lot of cool stuff. You also, are you a paralegal?
Yeah, that's my full-time.
Yeah. So Laura and I kind of review. I write the documents that Laura reviews.
Yeah. So I work in the special ed department.
Yes. Yeah. So she's super familiar with reviewing, I'm sure, IEPs and behavior plans and FDAs and all of that stuff. So, you are all over the place. So we're really excited. Yeah, we're really excited to have you. You were one of the first guests that we were like, oh yeah, we have to have Laura on.
Especially because we know you from jiu-jitsu, but I was so curious about how you got into it. Obviously, you do so much outside of it. You're also a cat mom. I was really looking forward to learning about how you got here.
Yeah. So many reasons to have you on, obviously. But yeah, we know Laura through jiu-jitsu, and I think that a lot of women in the East Coast jiu-jitsu community know Laura because Laura obviously is really passionate about women's jiu-jitsu, which I think is amazing. And one of the things that I love about, or at least one of the things I think about when I think about your no-gi camp, was that you were like, women competitors deserve to be paid like a livable wage. And I remember you saying that, and I was like, I want to go to this camp, obviously, because of all the amazing people that come through, like Paige Yvette. She got Mo Black to come. But she also pays them a livable wage for her seminars. But it also makes it it's still affordable. I'm still this is well worth the money.
It's well organized too. It's jam-packed, but
where did you start with that idea? Where did this no-gi camp come from?
Well, I saw women's camps, but a lot of them were gi and no-gi, and I do not do gi. So therefore, partially selfish reasons, I wanted an actual no-gi camp. Also, I was like kind of gearing up to do ADCC trials.
Yeah.
And like I have some friends that are really high level, Amanda Levy at the time.
Yes.
Like before she really broke out, before she beat Gabby Garcia and everything, she was just like really underappreciated, and I was
I would argue
thinking,
she's still underappreciated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like in
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
I feel like women in general, it's just way harder for us to get opportunities.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends were really good competitors, so
Yeah.
that is kind of what sparked the idea.
Yeah, and I feel like too, it must be nice to be able to have a no-gi camp like that, because also the weight division that you're in. I don't know if there's a ton of taller women that train at finishers, but like I know Nikita's always made that comment to me of like,
It's usually one of us in the room, right?
yeah, it's like who are we? Who am I going to pair up with?
Yeah. Except you go to the East Coast camp, and I mean that's where I've met. I'm thinking of Jess right now because we looked across the way and we just like two tall women looked at one another and were like, all right, buddies.
Yeah.
And now to this day,
Yeah.
we're still friends and talking about different camps we're
Yeah. Yeah, but you get Amanda comes, and I don't know what weight class Amanda Levy's in.
She's usually in the heavier, as far as women are concerned, heavier
Yeah.
weight classes. Like 150 and up basically is what I consider to be the heavier
Yeah.
weight limit, even though that's not even that
Right.
heavy.
It's not even that heavy.
But
But
that's-
in middle school.
The reality of competing as a woman. You know?
Yeah, and I think Paige Yvette is in the heavy. She's always
Yeah.
in the heavy division as well.
Yeah.
And as a very small person, I really appreciate when people show me like small guy jujitsu. So I can only imagine how nice it is to be a taller person, to be like learning from other female competitors in the same weight class.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially on the East Coast, when I see like popular female grapplers, they are never 150 pounds.
Yeah.
They're like 115 pounds, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like where's the love for the women that are in the heavier divisions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that about the camp. Okay, so it came out of a love for Nogi.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And the combination of no-gi and just wanting to get the women paid. Because I feel like one-off seminars that are just women are also harder to like kind of talk people into.
Yeah.
So making
Yeah.
it like a whole camp type weekend thing kind
Yeah.
of just, it makes it easier as far as like the budget is concerned and all of that.
Yeah. No, that actually makes a lot of sense, because now that I think about it, like travel costs to even come to different areas for a one-off seminar. And there are sometimes where I see what people are charging for members, or like for a seminar for like even like fiandies and stuff, and I'm like, that is not enough money. Like, are you kidding me? Like, she's the most accomplished, one of the most accomplished grapplers, period, in the world, and like people are paying like $50 to go see her or whatever.
Well, you know,
I don't think now, but
that makes me curious because as much as jiu-jitsu has grown, especially in the past couple of years, do you think that the women's division has grown with it as much, or is it still kind of like lagging behind?
I definitely think we've made a lot of progress. We've seen like some changes with ADCC adding the extra weight class
True.
and like doing the absolute. And I think the women are kind of making enough noise that, yeah, we're at least making progress.
Yeah,
You know?
women are holding good boundaries about it too. Like if the money isn't there and
yeah.
they're not getting the answers they want, they're like, I'm just not interested. It's not for me then.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I think I saw that Fionn decided not to do CJI 2 because the women's division wasn't big enough. Which I think I had seen that she decided not to join because it was only going to be like a 4 women.
sure. Yeah, I definitely got the vibe she was frustrated with them acting like they would do a whole women's thing at the second one, and then it still ended up just being like a different men's thing, and then the women's thing was kind of like an afterthought almost.
Yeah.
Where they were like, oh yeah, and this 4-woman thing.
I almost forgot about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, $100,000 is still good, but it's not $1 million. It's not the bracket that they had for the men. It's, you know.
If you had $1 million to give Nikki Rod last year, and you have another $1 million to give another grappler, like you can have a bigger women's division, like period. That to me, again, if you want to prioritize it, it'll happen. Like I don't think.
I'm just thinking about that decision right there too, because even if money is tight, it's like think of the message that you're sending
Yeah.
by only offering 10% of what you're willing to offer your male competitors.
And then only allowing 4, and it's like one of the like the top ones that are already at the top. Like, why are we not giving opportunities to women that are maybe not, like Nicole Matthews, you know what I mean? Like, she's a great competitor. Why wouldn't we be giving opportunities that people, that's not the Sarah Galboa who wins every medal ever, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think there was room for a little more on their part, but I mean, you know.
I will criticize it because I'm not a competitor and I have a mouth. And
there's so many women you want to see compete.
Yeah, I think it's just coming from a place of like, I'm just passionate about women and I think women deserve more, but I think you have to take what you can get and it's so much better than it was previously, you know? And Nikita and I were lucky enough to walk into a gym where there were already women here for us, where how many women do we know? I don't even know if you're in this category. Well, like showed up to the gym, you were the only woman there, and you just stayed.
That's such a common story.
Yeah. So we definitely have a lot of questions for you, but I think like to go back to Nikita's original comment of like, where did your jiu-jitsu?
You got this.
Jiu-jitsu journey start?
Oh, this is so funny. The full story.
Yeah.
I guess.
Take us back to 2015.
Well,
or earlier.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so sometime in my early to mid 20s, I guess, I discovered UFC.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a thing until then. Obviously, it had been a thing for years, so it was just kind of like, oh, look at this. This is cool. And also, there was this show on Netflix called Fight Quest or whatever, where they go to the different countries and learn that country's martial art, and then they
oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, compete in that martial art against someone from the home country.
Okay.
So I was kind of
Tom is nodding his head I've seen that.
It was a solid show, just saying. It was. So yeah, I guess that kind of sparked my interest between that and UFC, and it was also around the time that Rhonda made her UFC debut and that kind of stuff.
Whole storm. I was wondering if there was a particular, because what got me was Khabib, in the UFC. That got me so interested in jiu-jitsu watching that. So I had wondered if there was a particular fighter that you were that's who drew me in.
Yeah, Rhonda. I was a big Rhonda fan.
Yeah.
Also, even partially because I know people hate her now because she's kind of emotionally not super well regulated, but that I related to. Because I am also not. I have a lot of anger issues.
We're all mentally ill.
At least once or twice a month.
Anger issues is also a big part of what brought me to, I guess, the idea of wanting to do martial arts as an outlet.
Really?
Yeah.
Because viewers don't know this, but being around Laura,
chill
as fuck. No angry vibes. So,
do you think that?
what's your astrological sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay.
That's why it's the crazy organizing and all that stuff. That's where that comes from.
That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, because I was just I'm a Scorpio, so crazy was crazy. Okay, so anger management was a big part of it too.
Yeah. So I guess my first jiu-jitsu gym, I was really only there for a month or two and then went through big life changes kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was both a jiu-jitsu and striking / MMA gym because I thought I was going to get into Muay Thai. I'm tall, I'm lanky, I'm elbows, let's do this.
Yeah.
Did you have any experience at all, or was this brand new?
No.
Yeah, were you a street? Did you get into fights when you were a kid?
Yes.
Okay.
In elementary school, at least 2 times, I got in pretty big trouble for hitting people. She's
this sounds terrible. I love it.
And then I was okay, can't do that. I'm getting in trouble. But there was also maybe a street fight or two in my early 20s type thing.
Yeah.
I mostly blame my friend at the time, but
blame or not, it still happened. So
it happens.
So it was something you were kind of already drawn towards then. You knew something about that expression or getting it out was something you kind of wanted to do.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
So
and then
I was gung-ho to start out.
Yeah. And then with Rhonda, I think that's a really interesting concept because I feel that's a lot of people talk about the intersection of mental health and fighting sports when they talk about her specifically, because after that one loss, what was that Holly Holm loss? she literally she like disappeared, right? Like she stopped fighting, and she talked about, I don't know if you guys ever saw these interviews, but like she talked about how she basically was like, I don't want to be alive anymore. Like it was completely defeating for her, for good reason. I mean, like, I can't imagine the pressure of being in that position, you know? And
the identity of it all, too, especially when you're preparing for a fight like that, like who you have to kind of convince yourself that you are.
Yeah. I could understand why you would, like, look at that and empathize, because I think that I, like, looked at that and was like, wow, like, this isn't just, you know, you're an athlete, but you're in the public eye, and so much of your identity is in what you do, right? So when that is, maybe it doesn't happen the way you want it to, or maybe it disappears in some way.
Yeah, and you're seeing everyone talking on social media. I think that was a lot of what her problem was too. Like, people don't appreciate me. Like, they were just waiting for my downfall kind of thing, because people were very quick to be like, ha, she's finally beat. Like, that kind of thing.
That's what they do to every fighter, though, especially the good ones. They're like, oh, I can't wait to see him lose.
Haters are never happy whenever you're doing well.
No, I feel that way about Helena Cravar. Like, I'm just like, I just want to see you lose. I'm sick of you winning.
Like, how are you so
She did technically just lose.
I know. I loved it. I just, like, I understand, like, she's so incredible, but there are just times where I'm like, it's almost not fun to watch, because I know you're gonna win every time.
It can be fun to root for the underdog. Like, I get that too.
Yeah, and like, we're East Coast, like Philly area, so we love a fucking underdog.
Relatable.
Yeah. Okay, so you, like, kind of were falling in some, like, maybe there was some fights, there was some anger there.
Yeah.
You were interested. You joined this place. It's a Muay Thai Jiu-Jitsu gym.
Yeah, I really never got to the striking part. I did, like, a couple Jiu-Jitsu classes. Like I said, I only lasted, like, maybe a month or two. And then, like, my boyfriend at the time that was living with me, like, left me with all the bills. And I was like, I need to quit for now.
Okay.
But then once I got, like, back on my feet, working 2 jobs again, I went back. I ended up at a different school, though.
Okay.
And that was, like, just very much like a gi jiu-jitsu traditional type school.
Okay.
And that's where I feel like I really count from starting my journey, because, like, whatever, it was a couple months and it was like one of those small, like, there was only a handful of people, and they were very much like MMA type, and they, like, didn't walk me through even the simple things. So they're just like backwards rolled, and, like, don't tell me about, like, turning my head or, like, any of that.
Oh my
so
God.
I'm just like immediately hurting my neck, and, like, just stupid things like that.
Yeah.
Where I was it was a struggle. And also I was, like, embarrassed when I left there. Because I'm, like, crying to this instructor, and he's just like, okay. Because I'm, like, going through this breakup, right? You know, hot mess. And he's like,
I'm so glad you guys
give
are
a
here.
shit less. He's just like, whatever, this new chick is quitting. Cool. See ya.
Completely unhinged. Can't backward roll. Crying.
In my defense, I have, like, run into him in passing, like, at different
Really?
competitions since then. So he at least still knows that I, like, picked it up again, and I'm out there.
You're like, I learned
out
how to
there, bro.
regulate. I figured it out.
Well, I think I saw something online about, like, how hard it is, like, rates of, like, dropping out, like, of jiu-jitsu at different stages. And, like, two of the biggest stages are, like, obviously after you get your blue belt, but also after you get, like, a major injury. And I feel like, you know, injury along the lines with, you know, a relationship or, like, a big transitional phase, it's really hard to maintain training when you're going through that stuff.
Well, yeah, and back then I was also, like, you know, kind of a pro-cast, not to be like that, but in my earlier 20s where I'm like, you know, what now all of a sudden I'm paying twice as much as I was before for all of my living expenses, so I had to cut some things.
Yeah, and sometimes
but
we came back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so then take us through, like, you start there.
Yeah, and honestly,
I'm a little bit curious about, like, during that time, because everybody always talks about what they get out of jiu-jitsu, especially in the start. Like, what was it for you that you got out of it? Was it feeling, like, empowered because you're learning how to do this? Was it the community and crying with people? What was the thing? Was it like, I'm gonna learn how to kick fucking ass? Like, was that
I
your
think
thing?
that was a lot of it.
Okay.
I had some delusion in the beginning that I, like, would do an MMA fight at some point.
Gotcha. You were like, that big is my goal.
Yeah.
Has not happened, folks.
That's pretty cool that that's where you started. Like, maybe that's where I'll go with this.
Yeah. you know.
But you are kicking ass. You're just kicking ass in a different way.
Yeah, because I've tried striking, but at that point, it was actually also coming back from one of my bigger injuries. Since you mentioned the injury thing, I've had a good couple that required like surgery that like had me out for an extended period of time.
Yeah. How can you? Because I'm dealing with that right now. I would love to hear like what has been your experience having an injury and then coming back, like because for me, I'm having a hard time even just like wanting to step on the mats at this point, and I'm just curious if that has been a part of your injury recovery process at all.
I was definitely like anxious to get back, but also there's that extra fear that you didn't necessarily have before.
Yeah.
Like before I was ever injured at all, I was like carefree young 20-something. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this is fun. And like you don't think about, you know, an injury and like how it'll affect your life and like all of that extra stuff. But then once you've been through it, you're like, this is very real now.
Yeah.
Now I know what can happen and it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to do things really differently, like when you come back.
Yeah.
You think about it when you go to practice versus before you were just like, oh, I can't wait to go. And now you're like, I really hope I don't get injured today.
Yeah.
You have to modify your training, pick really good training partners that you trust a lot.
Yeah.
Make sure that they know what you're going through and the positions that you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. And you spend a lot of time on the mats. And like one of the questions that I wanted to ask you was like, what are the things that you do off the mats that keep you on the mats? Because like Laura posts like her whoop statistics, and she's like, there are times where she's training like 2 hours and she's in like zone 4 or 5 for like many minutes, and I'm like, I would die if I did that.
I am dying.
That's what it feels like, and that is what's happening.
Well, yeah, it's funny because like my main coach Zach has talked about it a lot lately, how especially if you're going to be a competitor specifically, you need to be having those training sessions where like you are already gassed and at the point where you're like, I need to quit now.
Yes.
And then still just continue, but like get beat up maybe.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like your ego suffers a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're getting crushed on the bottom, but like surviving, you know, that's when
it's just
you have
bottom
time
side
to
control.
practice that, you know. But
It's
just
where
kind
we
of
all
like
started. Just go back to your roots and do it when you're
Panic.
gassed and do it for 30 minutes.
pushing your cardio limits that little bit more if you're going to be competing and stuff. Like you just need to be doing that. I guess. So I do try and do that. But back to your actual question. What do? I should do more. I do get regular massages for myself. Practice what I preach.
Okay, love that.
Every month I get a 90-minute massage because
Oh, that's smart.
I like
I
them.
would like to do that. Yeah. Okay.
But other than that, I really should do like more mobility and stretching stuff, and I always tell myself I'm going to, but I don't. I do like sauna sometimes because we have a sauna at the house. We also have a Normatec compression setup.
Do you like that?
So I'll do that. Sometimes. Not as much as I should though.
What about like food and nutrition? Like you post a lot of you seem like you eat pretty well.
I guess I do. I definitely have a very high focus on like protein, making sure I'm getting enough protein intake. And that's something that Whoop has like given me feedback on.
Interesting.
How so?
Basically my recovery, it'll tell you because you fill out your little journal and you're like, I did this, that, whatever. And mine even syncs to my FitnessPal. So it'll enter like 150 or 160 grams of protein, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Whoop has told me like, it's like +6 for over 135 grams of protein and like +7 recovery for over 150 or something.
Yeah.
So like the more protein I'm getting, the better recovery scores.
Yeah.
Also blue light blocking glasses before bed.
Really?
Whoop has shown that like really helps my recovery score.
That's crazy.
Because you
I
like
love
wind
Whoop
down,
for that
get to
reason.
sleep faster, that kind of stuff.
Your Whoop streak is crazy. She has worn her Whoop
committed.
every day for over 800 days.
That is insane.
I have problems.
Mine is like 380 something. So like I've done it for a year, but like
I don't.
8.
Do you guys ever get overwhelmed by that much data about yourself? That's the only reason
No.
I've never gone into anything like that, because I'm like, there's no amount of data that I need of myself like that consistently, and then I'm like, where do I stop?
They want the data.
Yes,
we
I'm
love
a Virgo,
the
as I said before.
and I love data. And
It's
it
bad.
also it takes a long time for those predictions to occur, though. So you have to log a certain number of you have to have a certain number of entries in order for it to give you a prediction. So it's not like it's just happening like that. But mine with alcohol, it's like a negative 16%.
So bad. That's the worst one.
alcohol.
I should never drink, but I do.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
wasn't, but
everything in moderation, as Gabby, our favorite, is that her name? The lady that reads all the nutrients on her.
oh, that is Gabby. Yes.
Yeah, everything
she's
in
awesome.
moderation.
What can we do? We're just human beings. We're just girls.
Yeah, we're just girls. Yeah, we should all do a lot of things that I never get a massage, and I'm like, I never do anything restorative with my body when I'm training jiu-jitsu, which I need to do.
At least something.
Yeah. Nikita's good about that. She does the sauna and stuff.
Try. I'm trying to get better at it. I used to be a lot better about doing the ice baths and stuff, but if I don't have a direct injury that's not motivated, because it's so uncomfortable that if I'm not swollen in a spot, I'm like, I can't get in there.
I know.
Sauna I do every time I train, but that's comfortable. That's an easy one.
I hate the fucking sauna.
I like the sauna too, because I like warmth. I said about me running cold, yeah. But I guess one more thing that I've really been trying to be better at, which you don't really think of it as recovery because it's kind of not, but it is lifting weights.
Yes.
I have avoided lifting weights most of my jiu-jitsu career.
Really?
I'm not a real athlete. I just like jiu-jitsu.
I had this one thing.
Basically, I don't like to work out. I don't like to run. None of those things. Jiu-jitsu is what enables me to be active.
Yeah.
But to preserve your joints, and even now, just in general, aging, you really need to be building muscle, keeping movement going.
It's so
all
true.
of those.
Not even an
So
option.
I'm trying to strength train 2 times a week, an upper body and a lower body, just to do maintenance. So when these 20-something boys are now ripping on my limbs, and I'm 36 now, after 10 years of training, it takes a lot of wear and tear.
It does. It really does.
Shoulders, hips.
I'm super passionate about the lifting because I was having a lot of knee problems. Your knee, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, those are the first things to really get aggravated when you do jiu-jitsu. And as soon as I started incorporating lifts into my routine, which is really hard to balance that when you first start training, it's all you want to do, right? And then it's you throw all your time and energy at it, and you're like, I don't want to go to the gym and lift. This isn't fun. I don't
Until you get injured.
Yeah, and then you get injured. And then as soon as I started lifting, all my knee injuries stopped.
Yeah.
You know, so there's definitely something to that. And Bree is lifting.
Bree's so good at it.
She's a freak of nature, and we love her. Shout out Bree.
I try not to compare myself to Bree because she's been so consistent with her lifting. I'm like, I should be more like Bree.
Goals.
But
goals.
We are at very different schedules.
I would say.
Working 2 jobs, and then also I'm training 5 to 6 days a week depending on the week, if you include the day that I teach and then drill with Bree.
Yeah.
I'm mostly
that is
so between that
much
and,
time on the mats.
Yeah, and then I'm and I'm supposed to lift 2
when and where.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
I totally get that.
we do what we can.
Yeah, but I think that those are really good things for other people to hear, especially if they have been training for a while or they're looking to get into training. If you want to get into training, you're going to have to do a lot of other stuff to make it so you can keep training.
And it's okay to dive in at first, but then that's going to wear off, and you're going to recognize I'm literally going to fall apart if I don't take care of this.
Literally. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, we all need to do a little bit of that. I have some other questions here. Do you want to look at your list of questions?
Sure.
And see if there's anything you wanted to ask?
This is even my phone.
It is your phone. Not my phone. I'm an iPhone girly.
Ooh, a memorable moment or experience from your competitive career, especially something that's maybe really impacted you or that you've taken with you.
I know, that's such a tough question. I feel like there's been a lot. I could go 2 different directions with this.
Go both. Do both.
Go both. Okay, well, towards the beginning of my competitive career when I was still like a white belt.
I can't even imagine you as a white belt.
No, me either.
It's been a long time.
She
at
was
this
never
point.
a white belt.
I don't think I was on the planet at that point. I wasn't here yet.
But basically I started going through like an autoimmune situation. I started like breaking out in hives.
Oh my God.
And I didn't really know why. And it was also kind of like tied to when I had a competition coming up. So like times of high stress. And then I like
psychosomatic there.
Yeah. So I also like closed on my house and like I have a mortgage now. It was a whole thing. And then it started being like 24/7 type thing.
Yeah.
Like the hives are never going away now. It's not just like a flare up and I take some Benadryl kind of thing.
Wow.
So basically I like ended up on prednisone. I was taking like steroids every 12 hours and then also
Which
like
makes you like blow up basically.
it's not great for you.
Yeah.
And rates of depression in women on steroids is actually insanely high too.
Really?
Yeah.
That does not surprise me. But then I was also taking like 2 other like anti-inflammatory, like Zantac, which is like a stomach
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory, and I forget like Allegra or something
Wow.
like that. So anyway, lots of pills just to like keep these symptoms at bay. And like the doctors, everyone's just got like some different specialty. No one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
That's
They
the
sent me-
scariest part about autoimmune stuff because
Yeah.
they're just like it's like your whole body's attacking itself and we're not exactly sure why, and also stress.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool. I just
Yeah.
bought a house, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that.
Yeah, and like I lived alone, so I'm literally just like at my house covered in hives and like taking a pill and like waiting for it to subside, trying not to scratch myself.
You're like, if my little kid self could see me now.
Oh my God.
It was dark times. And like
Yeah.
basically I had to end up going to Google and like finding out, like looking up my symptoms and like reading different message boards and like other people's experiences.
Yeah.
And that is what kind of led me down the autoimmune path.
Okay.
Because like everyone was like, oh, it's an allergy. Change your detergent and this, that,
Yeah.
whatever. Are you using whatever? And I
Yeah.
answered like the same stupid questions a billion times. And I got like an actual allergy test, which also they were like, stop taking your medicine. I'm like, I'm going to break out in hives because they wanted to do like a prick test.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, no, but you have to stop taking your medicine. I'm like, okay, but my skin's going to be covered in hives. And sure enough, I like do that, wait it out. I'm covered in hives. They're like, we can't do this. I'm like,
Remember how
Right,
I told
what I
you?
said.
okay. So now we're doing a blood test. But yeah, it like didn't tell me anything.
And this happened during the time when you were going to compete for the first time? Is that where like all of this started, you said?
I competed a few times where I was
Okay.
like still having hive
Okay.
outbreaks like there and everything.
Wow.
But I think that was like more towards the end of like I competed for the first time right around the time that I was closing on my house. And then a few times the next year when I had already started working with the functional medicine doctor, because that's basically the route I had to go. Like once I did all this Googling, found out about the autoimmune protocol, changing your diet, I actually ran into someone through my jiu-jitsu school at the time who had like ulcerative colitis or whatever,
Yes, yeah.
another autoimmune condition, and he recommended me to a functional medicine person in the area.
Wow.
And I worked with them for like 6 months, doing like supplements, blood testing, changing my diet, all kinds of stuff to get to like remission where I'm no longer.
Wow.
Like I said, I had like a few remaining flare-ups as I did like a couple comps. Like I think I did one and then like did one 2 weeks later, and then it started to get really bad because it was like compounding kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was like working through it at that.
Wow.
What do you think like it really was?
I think stress is a lot of it, and like I don't know, the autoimmune community has all of their little theories, which is like stress causes the lining of your gut to like thin out more, and then like leaky gut syndrome where like particles basically get into your bloodstream and go all over your body, and then your body's like, what is this? And it causes it to attack itself.
Right.
Like one of the diagnoses was like Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So for a
Oh.
little bit I was on like a thyroid pill and
Yeah.
stuff too. But like now I've basically been in remission. I don't have a special diet. I don't like
Okay.
it does not affect my life anymore. So
That's so interesting.
yeah.
That's-
Power of stress.
Yeah.
Literally.
Totally.
And Nikita has very similar responses to stress, though. Like her body,
Totally.
it
All shut
immediately.
down, and it's the first thing that shows me. And it's usually residual like that. It'll have like a bunch of stressors at one time. And then during them, I'm pretty like, okay, I'm functioning, I'm getting through it. And then all of a sudden I'll break out in a rash. And it's always like hives or that weird eczema thing that looks like blisters. And then the stomach stuff comes on where I get acid reflux or just like my lining feels off and anything I eat just makes it worse. And then I feel like it's all the swelling and it just adds on to itself. And then you're constantly thinking about it and worried about it. And then you're stressed about that.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's definitely a cycle. But I didn't realize how sensitive Nikita was. Like, I knew she was sensitive, but it wasn't until the night before you got your procedure done. That
was insane.
And you had a rash on the place that was going to get surgery. Literally. And I was like, you're
so
insane.
crazy.
You're
I broke
insane.
out on hives on it because I was so anxious about it. Like, I kept thinking, like, they're literally going to cut this off. Like, it's not going to, in 24 hours, it's not going to be here. It just was a surreal, mind-blowing experience.
Yeah.
And then, right where I was imagining they were going to cut off, I just had hives, like, outlining that whole period.
Yeah.
This is why I think that Nikita has superpowers, because of shit like that.
We're women.
That shit's crazy. Yeah, we are.
We'd all be burned at the stake.
Yeah. So that was, you said you could go two places with that. So one.
Yeah, I guess to take it full circle.
Yeah.
Most of that autoimmune story, I guess, is just about like perseverance, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes looking back, I'm like, I can't believe I was like still competing when I like knew I was breaking out in hives.
I can't believe that either.
Like, it's okay. We're gonna just
keep going.
Yeah.
But it's like it again, to speak to what Nikita said, like it goes to show you the power of cortisol and stress hormones, right? Because when your body is preparing to fight, it's releasing stress hormones, and you were like, well, I have stress hormones, but I got all this other stuff and I don't like it, and then your body's fighting back.
I'm also wondering if we have this in common of like, I'll put my head down and get something. I think that's why my body fights me on stuff, because mentally I'll just put my head down and get something done. Like the idea of quitting, I might not have even thought of that. I wonder, did you even think of maybe I won't?
Yeah.
So it's almost like your body is like, bitch, you never stop. So I'm literally going to start shutting down because you won't. Mentally, you just won't stop.
Yeah, it's
Too
a
real,
signal.
Nikita.
Stop seeing me. It's a signal. I actually talked with a guy that used to train at the vault, and he has his own business, and I was talking to him because he got like diagnosed with Crohn's disease last year.
Horrible.
And I was talking to him about it, and it's why he had to like quit jiu-jitsu, and like stuff with the job was going wrong, and I was like, so what's going on with that? He was like, oh, I never had Crohn's. I just was working a horrible job, and like I was miserable and stressed out, and I hated my life, and like ever since I quit that job, I've had no problems.
It's funny that being miserable isn't good for you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Are you sure?
Like, we're not designed to live like that. It's nuts.
But it's interesting though, because it's like the medical community, you go to the medical community with these problems and they're like, I'm going to treat the problem or the symptom, but we're not going to actually treat the underlying cause.
They're like, so the world's set on fire and you're anxious, and maybe you should go to a therapist so you stop being anxious about that, and then you won't need anything. And also take Benadryl, okay?
Yeah, my PCP was like trying to stop the prednisone because she was like, I had been on it for like 3 months straight.
That's crazy.
And she was like, I can't keep giving you this. And I'm like, what do I do then?
Yeah, like what do you do? Your body is going to break out in hives.
Yeah, and like I said, like all of the specialists, like you said with the symptoms, were just like, it's not my specialty.
I know.
Because it's probably it's not this one specific thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That endlessly frustrates me as somebody that works in a hospital system and then hears like parents trying to navigate for kids their symptoms, but none of them talk to each other and none of them want to do anything about it. Like I had a client that was vomiting almost every day, multiple times a week for over 6 months. We still don't know why that was happening. And it wasn't until mom said, take her off everything and we will figure it out, that it improved.
Wow.
But like, why is that the standard of care?
You just got to advocate for yourself and
Yeah.
take things in your own hand, which is kind of
Yeah.
scary.
So go to a functional medicine doctor, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Anybody with autoimmune stuff that I've heard has had to just find a good functional medicine doctor that basically has specialized and educated themselves in like holistic medicine and things that aren't approved by insurances to help people.
Yeah. That has
It
been.
was expensive.
I bet. Yeah. As somebody that just paid out of pocket for physical therapy for the last like 3 months.
Yeah.
I wish I had out of network benefits. That's what I'll say. Yeah, interesting. So that was one route. What was the other route that makes you think of like a moment in competing?
I guess just more generally speaking, there's been lots of moments where like competition really does just kind of expose you mentally, and I've always kind of looked at it like a practice in controlling my anxiety. Because I know I get anxious, like it's not like I'm not, and that's like why people usually avoid it, right? Like, oh, I have anxiety. It's like, okay, I also have anxiety. However, sometimes you need to do the hard things, you know?
Sometimes that's the whole point. I know I'm gonna lose and I'm still gonna do it.
So that's kind of how I look at it. And like there's been moments in competitions, like my title fight, for example,
I
where
was gonna bring that up. I was gonna add, because it looked like I didn't get to see the match because I don't think the match was recorded and put on the internet anywhere. And
it was on Flow.
Oh, it was on Flow. Yeah.
But I didn't steal it and like put it anywhere else.
No, yeah. But I wanted you to steal it because I wanted to see it.
I'll get back to you.
But that looked like a tough match.
It was a very tough match, and it was like gritty and very much just like one of those matches that reminds you like I could be a dog too. Like there's moments where you're either going to like mentally quit when you're getting like crushed on the bottom or whatever. It's like one round that I had won the first round, she won the second round, and it's like, okay, it's the third round. This is the deciding round. Like it's time to lock the fuck in, basically. And like honestly, she was doing pretty good in the beginning and like got a guard pass, and then like I think it was down to the last minute or something like that. But she had passed my guard, and I'm like, oh shit. So I like throw up a triangle from the bottom, and then I'm like fighting a triangle with like a Kimura, and it's a finisher's rule where like if you're in a sub attempt,
you keep going.
So like the fifth or the third round kept going past the 5 minutes until she like was able to free herself, and that's kind of like the move that won me the third round. You know, it was like my last ditch effort. Like, okay, and I could have just like settled there, like, oh, my guard's passed, she's already won this round, probably like that kind of thing. But I was just like, we are not quitting today.
We will find another way.
And I'll tell you what, I've even had matches since then where I've like felt like I wasn't locked in enough, where I was just kind of like, you know, I don't want to be here or whatever. Yeah. And when that starts to like creep in, that's when things go wrong. Yeah. You know, like you really, the people that are the best competitors are the ones that can like turn that on the whole time. Where like no matter what position they're in, they're like, I can get this back. Yes. You know what I mean?
That's where you have to be a little delusional. Like convince yourself, like I am not losing. It's like you might die. And they're like, yup, I am not losing. And so you're willing to go there.
Self-belief and just like, not having so much quit in you. You know? It's easy to quit when things get tough.
I love that.
It is. And I think that that's why like everybody who does jiu-jitsu, you know, we obviously know that there's like the joke that it's a cult and like, oh, it's all we talk about and like, you know, but I think that the messaging is so true in that, right? Where like it teaches you not to quit. And I think that a lot of people would benefit from that, but I also don't think that jiu-jitsu is for everybody, and I think that everybody says that like anybody could do it, and I'm like,
anybody can do it. Anybody doesn't want to do it. And it's one of those things that you can't make people do, even with kids, because like I'll see it in John's kids classes. Like if there's a kid and they're like not into it, like not only are they not doing it, but they're ruining class for their partner too. 100%. You really can't force someone to do something that's like a partner thing. No. They're either trying or they're not trying, you know?
No, but that I think is a good lesson for like, I mean, you wouldn't know it, I think, until maybe you were competing or you were hanging out with competitors, but it sounds like so much of it really is a mental game. Mm-hmm. You obviously have to have the technical aspect, but you got to have the mental resilience to be like,
And being willing to like lose a bunch of times and not be like, well, I just suck at competing, we're done now. Because if it was like that, I would have quit in 2023. Because legit, I took like 6 losses in a row that year, and they were rough, and I was like, I suck.
I'm never gonna do this ever again.
It feels like it's
take
like
my belt.
That feels like it's part of like the competition journey, is to like have a period of time where like things just don't go well for whatever reason. If it's like you can't find competitors, or you're just losing, or it's long periods of time, there always seems to be like that part of their journey. And then I always see people also like overcome that and have that
those big wins
story. Whatever it is that was like holding them back. Lauren talks about this a lot. How she'll have different times for whatever it was that she was stuck on something in her own journey of learning, and then in her competing she would find that out, like really what was keeping her there, and then she would learn through it or overcome it in some way, and then find that out in her next competition and really have that like victory moment for herself.
I wonder if that's like part of the draw, right, to like keep doing it.
I'm sure
is you're seeking that moment. But it's funny you say like gritty matches. I don't know if you remember this match, but that gritty matches makes me think of the women's wild card series that finishers did with Lauren Sears and Z Walker.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
And like Z just got promoted to a purple belt. Lauren Sears is like a very well decorated brown belt, and Z was like, I mean, I cannot believe she didn't give up. Like, I was watching that and I was like, this girl is tough as nails. Like, that was a really fun match to watch because she was going up against such a, well decorated competitor, and she was like, she stuck in there. She stuck in there, and I was like, damn, like I really admired that. So you're gonna have to send me the bootleg.
I'll get on it. Honestly, I for a while I just did not have a good mentality about that match, even after winning it, because I felt like it was so close, and I'm so hard on myself. Honestly, I was thinking about it recently with my husband because he competed. And also being hard on himself. It's like, we need to stop having such high standards for ourselves that we're treating our accomplishments like failures. He's
so well accomplished too. That's what's crazy about.
And that's what makes it hard. When you're a high achiever, you expect a certain thing from yourself.
Because you have that part of you that's always saying more, do better. What's the next thing?
I've been doing so good, on a little submission streak earlier this year, and I was just like, and then to just win by a close decision, I felt like I lost.
I know.
I was just like, womp, that wasn't impressive. I barely stuck that out. When it's like, I just won the belt. I should have been way more excited in that moment.
Everybody else is so excited for you, and looking
Bree
at
was
it.
so hyped, and I'm just like, ugh. Wet in the back and cried.
But we saw that with the Adele Fionn match. Fionn was like, fuck this. I didn't win. I didn't want to win this way.
Legitimately.
I mean,
I don't know if she did
I
win.
know. That's
why that was a question.
She's the one that got the ankle kind of snapped, where she had to pull out a Polaris.
Right.
So I think that definitely says something. I understand what I totally understand what you're saying. Now I have, in hindsight, a lot more appreciation for that never give up, the perseverance that I had in that match, where I'm like, okay, if I could just show up as that version of myself every time I compete, I would do way better.
Yeah, and I think that's so powerful to think of that is part of me. Right? It wasn't anything else. It was me as the person, and I have the ability to do this. So it's well within my reach. It's just, maybe there are some days you have it and you want it, and there's other days that you don't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you see that in open mats, right? There are some days where I just, for whatever reason, I'm not giving this up today. I don't want to today. I want to fight it out. I want to roll a little harder today. I want to go there.
Yeah.
And then there's other days where I'm just like, ow, stop. And why are you so mean?
I'm just a girl.
Yes.
But I do love that about human beings in general. There is something no matter how strong or tough you are, there is something about our mentality. You can have the smallest, tiniest person, but if they've decided I want this and I'm going to give everything, you're going to see something special come out of it.
Yeah. I love that. Well, we're going to continue this conversation with Laura. She's going to come back for the next episode. So definitely keep listening, subscribe, comment, but don't comment weird stuff.
Yeah, guys.
because we've been getting a couple weird comments and we appreciate the engagement, but also stop being a pervert, okay?
And if you are going to be a pervert, at least follow. Like, be a good
at
pervert.
least like actually subscribe. Lame. That's so lame. Anyway, we're
Repost
friends.
something.
Yeah, repost or something. Anyway, we're friends living well with our guest, Laura Kent. Come back for the next episode. We're going to continue this discussion.
Thanks for being here.